Hello, everybody. This is Maria B, the Sizzix Lady from it'scheaperthantherapy.com, and I want to welcome you to another fabulous event. We're doing a craft along with the volume event here for February, and we're going to be doing the woven basket Love You pop-up basket card, and it folds flat. So we're going to put one together here in a second, but what I had wanted you guys to do is put your kind of flowers together, put them all out and put them to the side. You can actually build the flowers a little bit later if you want to build a couple of them now. That's what I did. So basically, just kind of took them and, layered them up the way that I wanted to, mixed and matched. And then I took the Tim Holtz flower shaping tool, and I, just kind of pressed down in there. I just did a real easy one. Some people go in circles and really kind of shape them up. I didn't want them to be too full on there, but there's other baskets that you can make too. But what's really cool about this one is just a different one. This one here is a You're Sweet. So you can make lots of different themes with it. So this here is, and it folds completely flat. Can you believe that? It folds up really nice and flat too for your card. So depending upon how high you stick things on the card or the basket is going to depend upon what size envelope you're going to use. So you want to make sure that that you don't, make them too tall for your envelope, or just get a different envelope is fine. So basically you're going to have 4 of these like it looks like a T, and you're going to have 4 of these that look like the pi sign or U. I say T and U. And you're going to have 4 of these grass pieces that are going to fit inside the basket. They're going to go, for your different layers and stuff. These are your 2 pieces here for your baskets, or basket. And then you get 2 Love Yous, and we're going to actually layer those on together. So I'm just going to put my flowers off to the side right now, and we can build those in a little bit. We would kind of just want to start by putting the basket together. And so just gather all your things. Make sure that you got a pair of tweezers. I like using the Sizzix Express glue, is really nice. It dries really quick. You can use a double-sided adhesive tape, those rolls, but don't buy the real inexpensive ones, because they're not going to stick as well as the quality ones. So you definitely want to get quality ones. And you're going to have 2 basket handles for these little sprigs. That's what I call them. And you have a little bumblebee. You can decide whether you want to put that on there or not. One other tip that I did is I took the, oh gosh darn it, it's that stuff that you put on like saran wrap, but it's got the little dots in them. And so I actually put that on top of my cutting mat just for when I'm working on it. So then if I'm getting inks or glues or anything, I can just peel it off, and then I can use my cutting mat to actually cut. So I'm going to put these off to the side here just a little bit. I'm going to gather these guys, put them off to the side. And we're going to start by putting the basket together. Okay. So what I want to show you, what's really clever, is that this is the Karen Berniston set. And I'll show you those sets here towards the end. But what's really cool about it is you got the scoring blades. Let's see if I can get a better light on that. You got the scoring that does the fold. These are little slits, so it's supposed to be like that, is the little slits. And you got another scoring blade or score right there across the edge. And the same thing on this one. So the best thing to do is you want to train your folds. So we're going to just pre-score or pre-fold those ones there. And we're going to do this. We're going to do this one here. And this one here. That way you're not fighting against the folds and stuff like that too. You can use your little bone folder. I can't find my bone folder. And so I'm going to use the Tim Holtz little flower shaping tool to press down, because it has a nice rounded edge and it doesn't make really marks on that edge. So there's a dual purpose for, you can use the edge of something. I just don't like to use my fingernails. So how's everybody doing? I'm doing good. I'm hearing Colorado. And we were the first ones to sell Sizzix in the world when they debuted in 2001. So we're really proud of that. Okay, so what you don't want to do is you don't want to glue this to here because you're not going to end up with a basket, you know. But you could actually put this on the front of a card and just glue it like this and just have it look like a basket rather than the 3D having it unfold. So I'm going to show you how it goes together. So this folded edge here goes against the flat edge on this one. Okay. All right. You don't want to see the flap on the outside. You want to see the flap on the inside. Like that. All right. So that's the first one that we're going to do is we're just going to glue these together. And this is our little bottles that we have. It has a little cap on it. It's got a nice little tip on it too. We also have the Karen Burniston ones that have the really long, fine tip on there as well. And you just want it just a little bit. You don't want a ton because you don't want it squeezing out the other end when you put it on. Kind of spread that out. And this is just a little dish. I took a little spray bottle and sprayed it, you know, just misted a little water in there. And so it keeps moist. So you don't have to keep worrying about it drying up while you're doing your work. If you just keep it standing up, it dries pretty quick, and then you're going to have to get your little needle and poke the little hole in it. But this helps it when you're doing your job. So how I put it on here is I just kind of line up the edges like this, and then I just fold it over. Just give it a good little press down. You're also going to get little acetate pieces. You're going to get 4 acetate pieces. It's hard to see with the camera, so I'm doing it with the reflection. So you're going to have those too. And you can always use like these acrylic pieces. These are a little thicker, and they have a peel back part on it. And these are actually going to attach to the backs of the grass, so we can build the flowers and the things like that on them. But what you want to make sure is that you're not putting things that are too heavy, because these little tabs right here, see the little score? These little tabs right here are what holds it onto the inside of the basket. So you want to make sure that you're not putting things that are super heavy that it's not going to hold. You might want to put a little bit more adhesive on there, okay? And so you can just make sure it's folding flat and everything's lining up. And so when everything that's like a pop-up, things fold flat, okay? And then you open them up and they pop up. And so you want to make sure that they're all lined up, that they're not crooked. And then this one here, I'm going to put the adhesive just on this little edge. And I like to make sure that I go up to this edge here instead of just this edge, because this is going to help really reinforce the hold. And just give it a little press. Okay, so now it folds both ways, folds flat. And so what I kind of look for is the seam. I want to make sure that my front doesn't really show a big seam, or, you know, just kind of figure out where you want your front to go. The other thing is that we're going to put the top sides of the basket on. And so this is shaped like the letter T, but do you see all the different score lines that are in here? So it has kind of more of a rolled edge on it rather than just one score line. And so you can kind of work it. And sometimes you can even take the little flower shaping tool and you can kind of give it that little bit of a indentation to more roll. Okay. But you can press down on those little score lines and really give it the nice edge that you need. And so see how it has kind of an opening here, because what it's basically going to do is basically going to sit over this edge and on the inside of the basket, okay? But first you have to weave it in there, all right? So this is how, just go under the first one, or sit over this first one and under the first slot, and just go back and forth. That way that the bottom one hides behind there. You can see how it's hiding behind there. Okay, so that's how you do the first one. And I'm just kind of changing the roll a little bit so where it goes down right by that edge. So since this one is already in there, we're going to adhere it down. So I'm basically going to pull this back a little bit. And I'm going to put my adhesive. Let's see if there we go. Right up to that top edge too. We want to make sure we reinforce really that top edge as well. Not just in the middle. Okay. And just flip that back over. Put it right where you want. Make sure it's in the little area. And I'm just adhering this first part down. On the back side, we'll do that here in a minute. After we get this front one kind of done. Okay, now one of the things that you want to watch out for is your instinct right away is going to be to put adhesive on the inside of this and fold it over. But just wait, okay? We're not going to do that right away. So just hold on there for a minute and just wait. Sometimes you can make it look like a little box with a little flap sticking outward rather than inward. So that's up to you on that, but I'm going to show you why you don't want to put the adhesive on the back of that yet. So line everything up. Okay. So this glue is pretty strong, so if you need to move it or whatever, it's not going to really do it. So, but things can be fixed, okay? So now we're going to do this one. Yes, it's in the pie shape, okay? There's no score lines on it really. And so, you know, we're going to start it, I call it the U for under. So we're going to start it on the bottom here. You just got 2 of them to put into the little slits. Let's try to zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. And we're just going to go under the little top flap. And you're going to make sure that everything is lined up here, because that's the part that you're going to see. The reason why you didn't want to glue these little top tabs down is because they stick up right back here, okay? And what you don't want to do is have them showing, because then when you fold this over in the back, it'll hide those and make it a little bit more of a finished look. So now we're going to go from the under, the bottom, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it 4 times, so after the 4th time, you guys should have it. All it is just a little weaving. That's all it is. Just a little weaving. Just think of all the different themes and stuff that you can put on these. Okay, see how you don't want it crooked or having the bottom show there. So make sure it slides down real nice. Make sure it's even on both sides. Okay. Down just a tad more before I glue it. Okay. Just get a little, it kind of moved a little bit, so I'm going to make sure I reline it back up. Okay. What I like about this adhesive is it dries clear, so you can just take your finger and just run it right along that edge if it's coming out just a little bit. You don't want too much though. You don't want it to look like you got glue all over. And usually I'm just a hot mess with different glues. And we've got one more to do. But we've got a great show special. We've got the buy two, get the third one free on Sizzix dies. There is a new release, and it's not going to include the new release, I know. But once you see it, you're gonna want it. And it's fabulous. So you're gonna look for that top for just that new release. You're gonna look for that little tab. And then we also, on Karen Berniston, we're running a 22% off. And guess when it expires? Expires 2222. Two, 22. So February 22nd, 2022. 02222022. Say that 10 times. And I need to go grab me my other little T. Or my U real quick. Okay. So I got the other one. So this switch machine has this sensor in it. So when you're, it has the different platforms, but it senses when you're putting everything in to run it through. You don't have to push a button. We did sell out already on our first batches of them that just came in. So we're waiting for the next one, but we do have them on a pre-order. So if they say pre-order, that means that we have already run out of the first batch. And as soon as we get our next ones in, you'll be in line automatically. So it's a good thing to just put your, order in it. And we're also doing some freebies, 2 different die sets too. And we'll go through those. You'll see those on the website as well. Move that over just a little bit. There we go. That one got a little crooked. That one did get a little crooked, so you just want to make sure that you don't do that. But I'm going to try and see if I can recorrect it just really quick before it really super dries. Just want to move it over just a little bit. I got really excited about the switch machine, huh? And we're just going to re-tab it in there. So there is room for error a little bit. You want to try to just take your time and, get it more straight and stuff. There we go. I apologize if I was off screen for a second. I don't watch it on the screen, and it's kind of tall a little bit. So, okay, so we have this so far, right? Okay, so what these are here are they're going to go onto the inside. I'm just going to flip these out. So you can even make the little tabs stick out if you want. But I wanted to show you that there's a little score line right here. And that this is how that they go in. But they actually are designed to go in the little, you can actually tuck them in behind one of the little weaves that you just did. Okay, see the little weave right there? You can actually just tab it in right there if you wanted to. Let's see if I can complete a little bit better for you. Right there. It'll fit right behind a tab. So, but that's how, it depends on how many of these you want to put in. So we're going to be putting in 4 rows. So if you just wanted, a couple rows or whatever, then that would be fine, but it's just going to depend upon how you do that. So on this first one, I'm actually going to just glue the tabs down. I kind of found that sometimes on the very front and the very back of the basket, trying to get them glued in really close to the edge, like the front edge and stuff. You know, we're not going to glue them in yet, so don't worry. But this one is actually going to just adhere into the front of this. But what we have to do is we have to fold these back over, okay? So we're going to fold these over, and then we're going to adhere them down. So we're going to be done with that section of those. Okay, so here's our first one. So everything we're doing is basically 4 times. Okay, flip that up so I don't get glue on it. And I'm pressing really into the corners a lot. So you can kind of clip a little area, or you get those little clips. I think the dollar store's got some of those. So I'm going to do this corner just a little bit more. Put just a little bit more adhesive in there. And you can just use your little clippy, your little Verse Action tweezers, and just kind of hold it closed, okay? So now we're going to wait for that to just dry for a second. So now we're going to work on the little basket handles, okay? And so you're going to figure out where they go. And you can use your little tweezers to kind of lift up the little slit right here and put one in. And we're going to do this twice, so I'm going to bring this a little closer for you. Let me go left-handed. Not very good left-handed, so. So you can put them in there, or you could make it a little tighter like this. And you could put it in the top slit, okay? Like that. I kind of like that. That's kind of nice, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of adhesive back there. Make sure they're not sticking out across the bottom. Okay. So I actually went right here on that little top slit there. And that actually worked pretty good. So you can either, you know, put it in, glue it like this, and then slide it in. I just kind of held them together a little bit. And then just put them in, making sure that they don't go down. You don't want them coming out the bottom, okay? And then put your adhesive right behind them there. So we've got our little basket handles. Isn't that cute so far? Super cute. Okay, so like I said, we've already folded this one, the little things back, and we're actually going to just glue it. You can see where you want them. Let's say that you didn't want to do grass, that you wanted to do something else. You can actually just take and you cut the grass off and just use it as a platform, okay? So I want the grass to stick up some, but I still want to have it, give it some stability. So I'm going to go to about there in the back. So I'm going to put the glue adhesive right here. And then I'm going to put it not all the way down. You can decide. You can decide. I'm just putting one little cross on the top just for stability. You can decide where you want your adhesive. And you can decide how high you want this up. Okay. The back one, we're going to do pretty much the same as well. But definitely don't put glue all the way across. But we're going to build the next ones first. So the little tab, the little tab. And then you're going to kind of decide, you can almost just kind of hold it in there just to see how far back you want it. Okay. And so I think I'm going to try to put that in that little slit maybe, where the little handles are. I might give it some good stability there. Make it nice and tight in there. So where I'm going in at is, it's kind of hard to see. I know it's chinky, bouncy. Is where the little handle is, right there. I'm kind of putting that tab right behind there. Let's see if I can get you to get to see that. So it's just going in. Let's see if I can get that light in there just a little bit better. This piece that's going all the way down, that T, we're going to go right underneath that right there. You can either go under the two handles, or you can go under that part of it. And this side is going to be the finicky side, isn't it? You got to get your just little feel for it. When you feel it slide in, try not to bend up that little tab as much as you can. Try not to do that. I think I got to hold it this way, be better. There we go. You can kind of see it starting to slide in underneath there. Oh, it's not. So I'm just going to push it in with my finger on this side. I'm just going to go underneath just the rectangle part. There we go. And we're going to do this side. So this is probably the hardest part, really, is that, okay? But what we want to do is we want to make sure that they get glued in there, okay? Otherwise, they're going to constantly be popping out. So now that you know where they're going to be, just shoot a little glue in there on each side. Make sure it gets into the tab part. That one is going to be a stinker, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to kind of press that in there. And we'll wipe the little excess glue off on both sides. And I'm going to make sure that it's folding both ways, okay? Don't squeeze it, don't hold it like too long and stuff, okay? So now we're going to figure out where this next one is going to go. And I think that we might just reverse these little tabs. So sometimes you can kind of see something, and we're going to go in that same little area. We're going to try. See if it'll fit in there. If not, we'll just glue them to the edges. Let's see if it'll go on this side. And what I'm doing is going underneath that little rectangle again. There, it did go. See that? But I feel that these are a little bit close together. I'm not really liking that. But see how you can kind of change things around a little bit too? So these ones are going to actually adhere just to the inside, right along that little tab right there. And I'm going to put the adhesive on both sides. See, and this is where you want to have a good, solid adhesive. Just get your little fingers going, huh? Just want to make sure they're at the same height. So I'm just putting them on that little slit right there on the inside, you know. But it's actually on this one. It's actually on that top one. Just like that. And then that way you can measure both sides and you can see that they're both in there. Okay. Make sure that it's closing both ways. All right. And you can kind of, I'm going to flick some of that grass out just a little bit, because we're going to put little flowers and stuff behind there. Okay, so then this last one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just fold the back ends over, just going to adhere them closed real quick. And I'm just keeping them on there, just kind of, I think makes it just a tad stronger. You know, not that we really need it on these ones here, but just going to make it just a little tad stronger. So we're going to adhere it to the back, but do not put glue all the way across on the back, because we're going to be tucking stuff behind there. Okay, so you're going to have these little acrylic pieces. You know, you can take the packaging that you have, and you can, you know, cut that apart and use that as windows or little see-through things. You know, the stronger pieces that you have, the more weight it's going to be, but then again, it's stronger. So it's just going to depend upon what you're putting on there. So, you know, there's these little vertical tabs that you can put on, and you can, you know, run them through like right behind the grass a little bit. And so you can make things pop up, or you can actually take, you know, depending upon what size and stuff that you want to use, and you want to, you can, you know, peel this off. Okay. And if we want to put one right behind here, which we're going to do, we're going to see which height we want it. Okay. See all the height that we want it. So I want it to stick up so we could put the flowers on there. So I'm going to put adhesive across this little bottom, and just a little bit. Okay. And you want your windows to be really nice and see-through. It picks up little dust and stuff like that, you know, little fragments, but those can be all wiped off. And that's a really cool thing about, you know, this acrylic, is that you can peel both sides of it off. Or you can use the acetate sheets. And we're going to do the same thing here. Just going to put some across. This is a great way of making like the flowers and stuff, you know, really, you know, show through and everything. And without, you know, using cardstock and stuff. So the reason why I kind of flick the little grass is just so it's not so straight, you know, when it's sitting there against the glass. Kind of gives a little bit of something. These ones are already pre-cut just to fit the length of this here. You could even do little oval shapes if you wanted to. Oh, I didn't want to go that far. If you wanted to, you could cut, you know, the corners down a little bit, kind of round it out a little bit. It's all going to depend upon what you put on these. This just holds really nice. I've already peeled the one side off, so kind of like had that little pre-peeled. Okay. Okay. So this one, we're going to put the adhesive right up onto there. But the reason why we didn't put adhesive all the way across on the inside is if you wanted to like stick something in there and make it stand up even more, you could as well. Okay. So that is, you just kind of bend the handles back. That's pretty easy so far. So make sure everything, you know, folds flat. We're good. I'm going to set that one there. And then you're going to put your flowers together. And mine are going to magically just get put together. So do your flowers. You can do them later. You could do a couple. But I'm going to put them together really quick. Now, this one here is just a different set, and I'll go through those for you, or it'll be on the website of all the different ones to get. So you can offset it just a little bit, so it kind of gives it that shadow and depth, that depth look. Okay, I like the red on top of the white, but if you wanted to, you could, you know, do it this way as well. But I just really like how that white makes that red really pop out. And so just find out how much you want to be hanging over. All right, so this is where the reverse action tweezers are really great. Just take this and just turn it over. And this adhesive is really nice. You can start with in the big part of the love. Just kind of, there we go. It's just kind of, just put little dots. You don't want to wait too long because you don't want it to dry. And you can just put little dots in areas. That works pretty good. Okay. So then you can kind of stand over it. Oh, that looks nice. That looks really nice. Okay. Now, like I said, you've got these little guys here, and those are going to be basically fillers. Okay. So now you can figure out where you want. All right. So you can even attach flowers onto these little guys here, make them stand up a little bit more. You know, you can, depends upon where you want to put them all. But I'm just going to put the flowers on the acrylic. Okay. So you kind of want just a little bit more, not too much, just a little bit more. And I'm just going to glue a few of these on here, but what you want to do is just kind of see how the flowers are going to look. So you can kind of move them around first a little bit and kind of play around before you actually adhere them. And see if, you know, your color schemes work or not. You know, where you want them. Do you want them taller? Do you want them shorter? You know, which flower do you want up in the front? I like that one. Do you want, you know, the polka dot ones? Kind of like this guy here. But there's an awful lot of white flowers together, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to put this guy here, this guy here. So you can just kind of see just a little bit kind of how you want to arrange them. One of the things we're going to end up doing is you can do one of two things. You can take one of the flowers and put it in the front, but I think that's too much. You can take one of the little ones and put it in the front, or you can take and make a bumblebee and put it in the front. And this one is kind of like just a little, how it's positioned and stuff with the little bumblebee. But see how there's these little tall, skinny ones here? And that's where your word is going to go on, all right? So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of the tall ones like this, okay? And you could adhere that onto here, but you can see kind of where it's going to stick up from. So it's going to go on the back of the acrylic. And do you want it sticking out to the side? Do you want it sticking out to the left? You know, just think about where it's going to go also when it's in the envelope. So it's probably best to go like right behind here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a lot of adhesive or a lot of acrylic behind it all the way up to the top. All right. So now just put the little dots. You only need it in those areas because that's where the acrylic is going to be. Because you want it to have stability, okay? So then you want to think about where it's going to go. I'm going to take those little flowers out real quick. We can build them back up. Do you want it at a little bit of an angle? You know, to the left, to the right? You know, how would you like it? So I'm going to put some adhesive across here and adhere it to the back of this guy. The cool thing about it is the flowers can cover up any little adhesive marks that you may see. But I'm kind of squeezing the adhesive so it kind of spreads out evenly behind there. All right, see how that stands up? Pretty darn cool. Okay, so now you can take and you can put your flowers together, and I'm going to do that really quick and then kind of show you a few more things. Okay, so I glued all of the little flowers together. Gotta pick those guys back up again. And I put the love you where I wanted it. And you can make things taller or not, just depend upon where you want everything. And I didn't put the love you in the very back. I wanted it in the middle part there. But if you wanted to do like the little bumblebee or whatever, but I wanted to spend a little bit of extra time up putting this together with you guys. But now you can see how easy it is to put these. You can put the little acrylic pieces, 2 of them behind there. If you have your acrylic that's sticking up on the corners, you could make it like a little curve, you know. You could cut part of those off so you don't really see the acrylic that much sticking out, but kind of play around with it, you know. So, but what I promised you is just to kind of show you a few things. There's a lot of new products. There's new Tim Holtz 3D fades. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Oh, pretty. Okay, so we've got these stacked hearts. Very nice. Look at all these. Love it. This is a die, the plaid. Look at that. This one cracks me up. Oh, look at the color eyes, the wood. Isn't that amazing? So there's a whole bunch of new products. There's also the new die storage booklet, the small one, and die storages in the turquoise and aqua. And then we've also got the telephone case from Eileen Hull. So thank you all for joining us today at It's Cheaper Than Therapy at itscheaperthantherapy.com. We hope that you really love the Woven Basket Love You card. And if you wanted to buy any more of the kits, they are going to be online. They're not going to be on sale, but you can buy some extra kits, and we're going to have those listed on there for you too. So if you didn't get your kit in time, you still want to do it. Everything is already pre-cut out for you. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a really wonderful day.